Hare Krishna, welcome to the program. Let's make a start with Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Gira Vardhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Gira Vardhari. Yashodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana, Yamina Tiravanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hari Hari Bol. Om Gyātimnandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sam Rupa Kadameham Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajim Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatu Brihascha Kirpa Sindhu Brihvacha Pritana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Garim Jat Kirpatam Mandashi Guzri Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Hariyam Tassat Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Sasvityasam Tato Jimaduriyat Nashta Preshav Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhakti Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So thank you for joining, and let's do Kunti Mata's prayers. We did the first one, verse 18, and now we shall continue, and we'll go all the way up to 43 eventually, but we'll do what we can today. So this 19th. So just to remind ourselves, 18th. So Kunti Mata is talking about how Krishna helps his devotees, and so she understands absolutely that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, even though He's her nephew. And in 18, Mother Yashoda is talking about about knowing the Lord, that you are the Supreme Lord existing in and out, within and without. The Lord is there. So in 19, she says, Maya Javanika Shanam Agna Dokshajam Avyayam Nalakshyase Muda Drishya Nato Natyadaro Yatha. So Maya, deluding, Javanika, curtain, Achanam, covered by Agyan, ignorant, Adokshajam, beyond the range of material conception, which is transcendental, Abhyayam, irreproachable, not Lakshase, observed, Muda, Drisha, by the foolish observer, Nara, artist, Natyadarha, dressed as a player, Yatha, as. So, being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So Krishna is doing a role in his pastimes, just like an actor who, maybe dressed differently, have various makeup, and you cannot recognize him. That because he's in that role, he looks more of that role rather than himself. In the Bhagavad-Gita, Lord Shri Krishna affirms that less intelligent persons mistake him to be an ordinary man like us, and thus they deride him. The same is confirmed herein by Kunti Mata, Queen Kunti. The less intelligent persons are those who rebel against the authority of the Lord. Such persons are known as Asuras. The Asuras cannot recognize the Lord's authority. When the Lord himself appears amongst us as Ram, Narsimha, Barha, or in his original form as Krishna, he performs many wonderful acts which are humanly impossible. As we shall find in the 10th canto of this great literature, Lord Sri Krishna exhibited his humanly impossible activities even for the days of his lying on the lap of his mother. He killed the Putana witch, although she smeared her breast with poison just to kill the Lord. The Lord sucked her breast like a natural baby, and he sucked out her very life also. Similarly, he lifted the Govardhan hill just as a boy picks up a frog's umbrella, and stood several days continuously just to give protection to the residents of Vrindavan. These are some of the superhuman activities of the Lord described in the authoritative Vedic literatures like the Puranas, Itihasas, and Upanishads. He has delivered wonderful instructions in the shape of the Bhagavad-Gita. He has shown marvelous capacities as a hero, as a householder, as a teacher, and as a renouncer. He is accepted as a supreme personality regarded by such authoritative personality as Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Narad, Madhva, Shankar, Ramanuja, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jiva, Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati, and all other authorities of the line. He himself has declared as much in many places of the authentic literatures. And yet there is a class of men with demoniac mentality who are always reluctant to accept the Lord as the supreme absolute truth. This is partially due to the poor fund of knowledge and partially due to their stubborn obstinacy, which results from various misdeeds in the past and present. Okay, so it's like a purification that they are not able to recognize, plus they don't have the knowledge either. Such persons cannot recognize Lord Sri Krishna even when he was present before them. Another difficulty is that those who depend more on their imperfect senses cannot realize him as the Supreme Lord. Such persons are like the modern scientist. They want to know everything by the experimental knowledge, but it is not possible to know the Supreme Person by imperfect experimental knowledge. He is described here as the Adokshajya, or beyond the range of experimental knowledge. All our senses are imperfect. We claim to observe everything and anything, but we must admit that we cannot observe things under certain material conditions only, which are also beyond our control. The Lord is beyond the observation of sense perception. Queen Kunti accepts this deficiency of the conditioned soul, especially of the woman class who are less intelligent. For less intelligent men, there must be such things as temples, mosques, or churches, so that they may begin to recognize the authority of the Lord and hear about him from authorities in such holy places. For less intelligent men, this beginning of spiritual life is essential, and only foolish men decree the establishment of such places of worship which are required to raise the standard of spiritual attributes for the mass of people. For less intelligent persons, bowing down before the authority of the Lord, and generally done in the temples, mosques, or churches, is as beneficial as it is for the advanced devotees to meditate upon him by active service. That's good. So let's see. So 19, Kunti Mata is saying that, hey Krishna, you are invisible, you are covered by curtain of Maya. Krishna hides himself from the people who are in Maya. So automatically, if you are in Maya, the curtain of Maya is there with you, and you will not be able to see Krishna. So he hides himself behind the curtain of Maya. And Srila Prabhupada explains that truth is, so the question is here actually, in the previous, the question was, you are not my nephew but the Supreme Lord, or, Krishna says, I'm your nephew. Am I not your nephew? And Mata says, you are not my nephew but the Supreme Lord. Here the question is, Krishna says, if I am within and without, so I am inside people, I'm on the outside, I'm everywhere, then why nobody approaches me? If I'm everywhere, why don't people approach me? Why are they atheists? People say there's no such thing as God. If he's everywhere, why don't they approach me? So truth is revealed through the Acharyas, but we still do not accept. When we accept, then we can surrender. So we have a free will to accept or not to accept. It's up to us. It's up to our understanding, up to our consciousness, how much it wants to understand. So temples are for glorifying the Lord and recognizing the Lord. So Adokshajya is beyond the range of knowledge, beyond sense perception, can only be realized by devotion. So Krishna can only be realized by devotion. When he came, many people could not recognize him because he behaved like an ordinary being. So it's all about consciousness. Some people can see things that others can't see. And it's similar with God, that if you don't have the consciousness or the desire to see him, you won't see him standing right in front of you. You just won't see it. And, even in material life, we see that we just can't see who's our well-wisher and who's the enemy sometimes. Right? We just can't see it. It all depends on your understanding. And sometimes we see things the way we want to see things. Yeah? It's like we make up our mind, right? This is I want to, no matter what, I just want to see this person as my enemy. even though they might be your best friend, they're my enemy. Something happens with parents. They're trying to help the children, and children think my parents are my enemy, although they're giving good advice, but they don't want to listen. So like that. Tatha paramahamsanam muninam amalata amala atmanam bhakti yoga vidhanartham katham pashyemahi istriya. So tatha, besides that, paramahamsanam of the advanced transcendentalists, muninam of the great philosophers or mental speculators, amal atmanam, those whose minds are competent to discern between spirit and matter, bhakti yoga, the science of devotional service, vidhan artham, for executing, katham, how, pashyema, can observe, he, certainly, istriya, women. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service onto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? So, yeah, naturally, Mother Kunti is a female, and she's accepting the weaknesses. Even the greatest philosophical speculators cannot have access to the region of the Lord. It is said in Upanishads that the supreme truth, the absolute person of Godhead, is beyond the range of thinking power of the great philosophers. He is unknowable by great learning or by the greatest brain. He is knowable only by one who has his mercy. Others may go on thinking about him for years together, yet he is unknowable. This very fact is corroborated by the queen, or Queen Kunti, who is playing the part of an innocent woman. Women in general are unable to speculate like philosophers, but they are blessed by the Lord because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and they offer obeisances without reservation. The Lord is so kind that He does not show special favor only to one who is a great philosopher. He knows the sincerity of purpose. For this reason only, women generally assemble in great numbers in any sort of religious function. In every country and in every sect of religion, it appears that the women are more interested than the men. This simplicity of acceptance of the Lord authority is more effective than showing insincere religious fervor. Okay, very interesting. So this is 20. Now here we're saying that Kunti Mata is saying that the Lord, oh Krishna, you are known to the Paramahansas, not to women like me. She's admitting, she's taking the humble position basically. Although she's very, very intelligent and very, very much realized. So Krishna says here, but you can see me and you are praising me. You can actually, when he said you can see me, meaning that you can see me as I am, and you are praising me to that effect, then why do you call yourself ignorant? This is a big question. So Srila Prabhupada says that emotional rather than logical and intellect, she has recognized, yet declares she doesn't have the ability. But anyone who takes to devotional service is most intelligent. Man, woman, whatever, is most intelligent. If you have taken to devotional service, then you have understood the meaning of life. Only focus on the good qualities of the devotees. Like a swan extracts the milk from water, be like a swan, always have Paramahansa vision. So this is the third prayer, that you are known to Paramahamsas, not to women like me. So far, Kunti Mata says You are the Supreme Lord existing in and out. You are invisible, covered by a curtain of Maya to people who are in Maya. And you are known to Brahmansas, not to women like me. So beautiful praise. And then in 21, what does Kunti Mata say in verse 21? Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So Krishnaya, the Supreme Lord, Vasudevaya unto the son of Vasudeva, Devaki Nandanaya unto the son of Devaki, Cha and Nanda Gopa, Nanda and the coward men, Kumaraya unto the son, Govindaya unto the personal Godhead, who enlivens the cows and the senses. Namaha, respectful obeisances, Namaha, obeisances. Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd men of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. So the Lord, being thus unapproachable by any material assets, out of unbounded and causeless mercy, descends to the earth as he is in order to show his special mercy upon his unalloyed devotees and to diminish the upsurges of the demoniac persons. Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all other incarnations because in this particular incarnation he is more approachable. So we're saying that the Lord is unapproachable. Here Kunti Mata says that he is more approachable. In the Ram incarnation he remained a king's son from his very childhood. But in the incarnation of Krishna, although he was the son of a king, he at once left the shelter of his real father and mother, King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki, just after his parents, and went to the lap of Yashodamai to play the part of ordinary cowherd boy in the blessed Brajbhumi, which is very sanctified because of his childhood pastimes. So there you are. Krishna can do anything. He can become a cowherd, or he can become a king, prince. He can manipulate things that he can get everywhere. Therefore, Lord Krishna is more merciful than Lord Ram. He was undoubtedly very kind to Kunti's brothers, Vasudeva and the family. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Queen Kunti could not claim him to be her nephew and thus address Krishna in parental affection. But Nanda and Yashoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastimes, which are more attractive than all other pastimes. There is no parallel to his childhood pastimes exhibited at Brajbhumi, which are replicas of his eternal affairs in the original Krishna Lok, described as Chintamani Dham and in the Brahma Samhita. Lord Shri Krishna descended himself at Brajbhumi with all his transcendental entourage and paraphernalia. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Brajbhumi, and specifically the cowherd girls who dedicated everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. His pastimes with Nanda and Yashoda are, and his pastimes with cowherd men, and especially with the cowherd boys and the cows, have caused him to be known as Govinda. Lord Krishna's Govinda is more inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows, indicating thereby that human prosperity depends more on these two items, namely Brahmanical culture and cow protection. Very, very important. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking. So the Brahmanical culture has to be protected and the cows have to be protected. That's Krishna's instruction. So All those who have Prem Bhakti, like my brother Vasudev and sister-in-law Devaki, are most fortunate, Devaki Mata says. And let's see if we have anything to say. So he's Krishna, son of Vasudeva and Devaki, they are so fortunate. So there's some primary and secondary names of Krishna. Primary names of Krishna are connected to Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan and Krishna's qualities, and secondary names are connected to Krishna in creation and the material world. So Krishna has so many names, and according to time, place, circumstance, it has different names. So any secondary names like Vishnu, God, Creator, Paramatma, they give freedom from sin and give liberation, spiritual piety. Right? So these are the secondary names, and this is the benefits of the secondary names. If you want these things, you can call him God, Vishnu, Creator, Paramatma, to get freedom from sin and liberation, get liberation and spiritual piety. But the primary names of Krishna give freedom from sin, give liberation, and on top of that, pure love for Krishna. Like material pleasure, spiritual pleasure does not finish, it increases. So when we call him Krishna, so we say in Hare Krishna, so that is the highest names, most attractive, and you can love Krishna. Okay. Actually, there's something else. So Nanda and Yashoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastimes, which are more attractive than all other pastimes. I mean, this is one of the qualities of Krishna, that is most sweet pastimes. So it's mentioned that if Krishna did not go to Vrindavan, instead of if he stayed in Mathura with his parents, how would we have got the sweetest month of Kartik, which will be coming in a few months? Damodar Leela, Govardhan Leela, Kaliya Daman, Ras dance, and so many other pastimes. There's so many pastimes. Killing of so many demons. The Vrajvasis were able to witness and enjoy these pastimes of Krishna. Krishna descends to give pleasure to his unalloyed devotees. And remember that Krishna, I think, was like hardly 15 when he left Vrindavan with the Kurura to come to Mathura and kill Kansa. And within those 15 years, all these sweet pastimes took place. There's so many pastimes took place, and he was just barely a teenager. So he has pastimes in Vrindavan, pastimes in Mathura, pastimes in Dwarka, but the sweetest are the ones in Vrindavan. Because that's there, he's there as Krishna himself. Other places he's playing different roles. Right? So Prabhupada says that Vrindavan is his home, right? And Dwarka is like his office, like that. So when you're at home, that's the sweetest place. That's where the sweetest pastimes took place. So finally, let's go to text 22. Namha pankaj nabhaya, namha pankaj maline, namha pankaj netraya, namaste pankajang ghriye. Namaha, all respectful obeisances, pankaj nabhaya, unto the Lord who has a specific depression resembling a lotus flower in the center of his abdomen. Namaha, obeisances, pankaj maline, one who is always decorated with the garland of lotus flowers. Namaha, obeisances, pankaj netraya, one whose glance is cooling as a lotus flower. Namaha te, respectful obeisances unto you. Pankaj angrahe, unto you the souls of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers, and who are therefore said to possess lotus feet. Well, I suppose that's one explanation of the lotus feet. Then we say lotus feet, whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is cool as a lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Here are some of the specific symbolical marks on the spiritual body of the personality Godhead, which distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but he is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is claimed because women, Shudras, labor class, and the rich Bandhus, or the wretched descendants of the higher three classes, are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter concerning the spiritual name, fame, attributes, forms, etc. of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as the Acharya Vigraha, who descends to the material world just to distribute favors to the fallen souls, including the above mentioned women. But Shudras and the rich Bandhus, but you have to remember that we are all following in the footsteps of the gopis. It's the women we are following in this movement. So whatever, the ones who don't follow in that category, but otherwise women are leading the race here towards Krishna consciousness. We follow the gopis of Vrindavan. Because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord condescends to enter into each and every one of the new universes as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, or condescends. Who grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen. And thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. Therefore, the Lord is known as Pankajnabhi. The Pankajnabhi Lord accepts the Acharya Vigraha, or his transcendental form, in different elements, namely form within the mind, a form made of wood, a form made of earth, a form made of metal, a form made of jewel, a form made of paint, a form drawn on sand, etc. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees always engaged in material wranglings. The meditators worship a form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is merciful even to the women, Shudras, and Dvij provided they agree to visit the temple of worship in different forms made for them. Such temple visitors are not idolaters as alleged by some men with a poor fund of knowledge. All the great Acharyas establish such temples of worship in all places just to favor the less intelligent, and one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship while one is actually in the category of the Shudras and the women or less. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from the lotus feet because the Lord might feel ashamed. And thus Kunti Devi, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet, from the waist of the Lord gradually rising to the face, and then down to the lotus feet. In the round, everything there is in order. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, she didn't want to embarrass him, so she didn't go straight, talking to his feet. She looked higher. So here, Kunti Mata says that I am also fortunate because I could see your beautiful form. Okay. So the first 5 verses we have read now. You are the Supreme, Lord existing in and out, invisible, covered by curtain Maya, known to pronouncers, not to women like me. Devaki and Vasudeva are very fortunate. I am also fortunate to see your form. So many aspects, Kunti is, just like that. She's come up with this praise and she's including so many things in this praise. And just to say that lotus and swan are similar in that they are both related to purity. The lotus grown in muddy areas and is aloof, by nature remains pure. Lotus is compared to Krishna. He also by natural quality remains pure. He never becomes contaminated. Paramahansas, devotees are also pure. But unlike Krishna, who is naturally pure, they are pure by their choice and their action. So you have to become a Paramahansa. So regarding the Archa Vigraha, in terms of Kunti and Yashoda, Queen Kunti has parental relationship with Krishna, but with Gaurav Vatsalya. She has parental relationship, but as in Gaurav, proud, with understanding of supremacy of Krishna, with and awe and reverence. So although she has parental relationship with Krishna, she has parental affection towards Krishna, but it just happens that it's with awe and reverence. The awe and reverence comes into it. Okay. So parental with opulence of Krishna, whereas mother, so she also seen the opulence of Krishna and how great he is. Whereas Mother Yashoda, she is Vishramba Vatsalya. So that's the difference. So Kunti Mata is Gaurav Vatsalya and Yashoda Mai is Vishramba Vatsalya. So even in that, in the parental affection or any other rasa, there are categories involved here. Which means intimate Vatsalya. To Mother Yashoda, Krishna is not supreme. He's a baby. To her, Krishna, he is my loving child. And even when Krishna shows the universal form, which he did more than once, when he kills the demons, she thanks Narayan for empowering Krishna to do this. So they think Krishna is being protected by Lord Narayan. Narayan is a worshipable deity in the house. She never accepts Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. And Krishna likes that. He wants to be the child. He has enough people giving him awe and reverence. He wants to be the baby. He wants to be cared for. He wants to be treated like a child, and he wants to be protected by his parents. Because as God, I guess you miss all that because you don't. Everybody just worshiping you. Everybody seeing you as the father, and when you see somebody as the father, all you do is you want things. What do grown-ups give children? Gifts, or fulfill their demands. And Krishna gets thinking, this is like people just come to me because they want something. How about they give me some affection? Let's forget God factor for a moment and give me some love and affection that I'm your child. So Krishna prefers to be a child rather than parent. Even like in material life, parents sometimes want to be the child. That they miss that. That when I was a child, I was pampered, and now nobody really cares for me. Or they just only come to me when they want something, right? Isn't it? Parents, we get into that situation that the children, when they're sweet, because they're after something, right? They're after something. So you miss that childhood life, that how much you are pampered and looked after, protected. Now those protectors have gone, and you're on your own. So it's like that. Anyway.
That's why you give Father's Day. Good days.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much. We'll stop sharing and let's hear from yourselves. I don't know. Right, let's see. Okay, wonderful. Okay, we'll start with Sreshi Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna and Hare Krishna to everybody. Very nice praise. Kunti Maharani. Well, in this, I can understand that Kunti Maharani, she's married to Krishna and she's also surrendering to Krishna and glorifying Krishna at the same time. All in one she is doing. And even she's older than Krishna, but being a devotee, for devotees doesn't matter young. If he's a devotee, you should respect the devotee. So she's respecting her nephew. And it's always been that when the devotees are in difficulties, they surrender and glorify. They don't just surrender. When they surrender, they glorify how Krishna is so great. And when they're in danger, because they have full faith. I mean, if you have one faith, you won't surrender, you won't go to anybody. Like if you want anything, you have difficulty, we go to our parents, we have faith that they might solve the problem. So that Krishna is our father's father. I mean, so we have should have faith in Krishna. And Kunti Devi is glorifying her that she is, I mean, Krishna is above demigod, he is above the mode of material nature, he is the absolute truth. And we should mold our life in such a way that we should always remember him by performing our duties for his life and this life and next life. Like how we can do, we can remember throughout the activities when do anything like cooking or dressing duties. I mean, all much should be on Krishna. And only by devotional service you can get detachment. By association, devotional service, you get detachment. And one can link with absolute truth by devotional service. If you don't do devotional service, you can't get attached to Krishna, and that is the attachment, like person to person. And attachment is the cause of our attachment is the cause of our defeated birth and death. That means attachment to material things, not Krishna. If you detach from material things, that means it will be attachment to Krishna. But it's detachment material things is the attachment for Krishna. And the greatest fear in our life is death. Everybody fears of death. That's why how old are we? Because of our body's attachment. We are so much attached to our body that we are afraid in case we go on the road, we get killed or something happen to us. It's all because of our body. That's why Prabhupada also says we are not body, we are soul. Think of your soul, but we always tended to see our body, and that's the fear in our life. And it says without the association of devotees, you can't hear katha like we are here. If it's not association of devotees, we can't hear katha. And without the katha is delusion. And delusion do not disappear without the katha. And you cannot have love of God without the disappearance of Maya. You can't love Krishna if you have Maya with you, always surrounded by Maya. And there are so many atheists, I didn't say that they don't believe in God. They never for a second realize how these things are. We see these things around us, all plants, trees, air, water, and everything is Krishna's energies. But a lot of people, they don't think of this because Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, in his opulences, that I'm taste of water, I give the heat, everything. But only the devotees who are attached, who read about it, who knows, they can know and feel it. But the common people, they don't read Bhagavad Gita, they don't have association with people. So they don't know, they just take it, they sleep, get up in the morning, just go to work, have food, sleep, just like animal life. But one is fortunate enough to get association with devotees and learn about Krishna, so that we can get rid of our this repeated birth and death and go to Krishna. That's why we are born. We are not born to enjoy. But a lot of people say, "Oh, you got one life, you must enjoy it." You haven't got life. You've got so many life, right? 8,400,000 our life you got. So it's not the end of our life. So it will be the end of our life if we go back to Godhead, to Krishna, and we follow the rules and regulations, like Krishna says, he told Arjuna all the dharmas, all the duties, and then he said, Arjuna, leave everything, just surrender unto me. So, what Kunti Maharani is glorifying, she's surrendering, and she's praying to Krishna, and that's we got example, we should do the same. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. And these purports are like, these purport is like a big chapter. I think this in
Oh,
chapter.
your sound is not coming too well. Sitting away from the.
Is it?
All right. Carry on, Prabhu.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhupada. I mean, these purports are like, each purport is like, we can discuss a number of days on each purport or each of these purports. Is it still not clear, Prabhuji?
Yes, I can hear you, Prabhu.
Okay. I mean, in the purports, Srila Prabhupada initially mentioned about the foolish people who cannot recognize the Lord, even though Lord is there in front of them. So, because one can understand the Lord only by His mercy, and mercy you can't get directly. It's a causeless mercy, but the mercy you get um, through by serving His devotees, by serving His pure devotees, and when you serve them, then their mercy will come to us. So I'm still in yesterday's class by um, Chit, that Prabhuji who gave class yesterday evening, and so many things are mentioned about um, Srila Prabhupada. And actually, when you meet such kind of devotees, automatically our devotional service will be activated. It's mentioned in the purpose that spirituality is more essential, but many people do not get this point because they don't come in contact with such kind of people. And even for such kind of people, Lord comes in the form of Archa Vigraha. So I was listening to one of the class last week, and he asked a question in the beginning that do anybody see the Lord directly? And somebody said, yeah, I see the Lord. And he asked him where? Then he said, I see the Lord in the sun. Then another person said, I see the Lord in my mother. But he said, no, I am asking you clearly that did you see the God Lord directly any time? And none of them said, no, we are not, nobody said we have seen. Then he said, are you not worshipping your Archa Vigraha in your home? Then what about Archa Vigraha then? Because Archa Vigraha is the literal incarnation of the Lord. Because of our material senses, we cannot see him. So Lord came in the form of Archa Vigraha so that anybody can see him, worship him, develop that relationship with him by worshipping daily. And then Lord mercy will come then. And Lord is Krishna is more attractive, as Parasramuni says, it's an attractive. So it's not that Krishna perform an attractive work, but whatever Krishna does becomes attractive. That's what we have seen, that Lord is leaving Dwaraka is also an attractive thing. Lord is coming to some place becomes attractive. Lord is sleeping is attractive. So anything performed the Lord is attractive. So all these are mentioned in the past tense in detail by Srila Vyasadeva. And when we hear to these pastimes in the guidance of a spiritual master, then we can develop that relationship with the Lord. Right? But there are many people who do not believe in the scriptures itself and they become atheist, who say that Lord doesn't exist or Lord do not have a form and it's only Brahman where you can merge. But one should develop the faith in the scriptures, faith in the words of spiritual master, then they can get that realization and causeless mercy of the Lord as well. And it's mentioned about cow protection. When Krishna comes, he gives protection to both cows and brahmanas because brahmanas are very important for our life. Even if you follow Varnashram Dharma also, the brahmanas are very important to guide us because their life and soul is only meant for the spirituality, and then they can guide us properly to understand the scriptures and apply them in real life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the details and explanation, Prabhu. It's very nice. Yeah, Brahmanas, so the intelligent class who are spiritually inclined, yeah, very important because they're heading the society. They steer the society in the right direction. Thank you. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Again, many of us have heard these parts of the Bhagavatam, and we've heard Kunti's prayers. However, hearing it again and again and churning it again and again, just as we churn the Mahamantra every day, time and time and time again, and hopefully 16 rounds a day, it's that process of going over it again and again and again and again reinforces our relationship with divinity. Kunti clearly says, "You're my nephew. You're younger than me, yet I know who you are. You are the Supreme Lord. You come in many forms. What are they? You come as Ram. You come as Nrsimhadev. But your power and your opulence is beyond our comprehension. You're invisible because they're the covering of Maya. And until we recognize your huge grace and power and your mercy, and the only way is to become dependent upon the divine. Like in these prayers, Ved Vyas notes that the world that we live in is preoccupied with evidence of an empirical nature. What is the evidence? The evidence in the Vedas is little pinky finger, Govardhan Hill, Putna, you name it, pastimes after pastimes after pastimes, identified clearly by the sages and Vedas that these things actually did happen. And it blew my mind when it took me 8 hours to walk around Govardhan Hill. Little pinky finger, how can that be possible? But the depth of our literature is huge. And until people recognize that COVID time, we were protected by the various preparations we made, which weren't scientifically proven. I take haldi because there are some preparations in there, properties in there, which deals with my eczema better than any better than any steroids. But the modern scientific world will decry it because it's not gone through the nice clinical processes, and hence we have to then recognize that there is this world that we are a part of, the parampara, which is giving us grounding, which is far better than the evidence-based so-called scientific approach. Also, in these few verses, there is a reference again to the consciousness of women, higher consciousness, more compassion. Look at every ceremony and every occasion, birth, death, events, get-togethers, key players of the women, and hence their consciousness is greater and their intelligence is far superior than us mere male mortals. And hence we must never lose sight of the significance of women in our lives. And Kunti, Draupadi, just to name two, are significant figures in our Vedic history. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Brother Rani?
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to you on a lovely summer's day, and brilliant as the sun. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is also, enlightening and enriching our lives, even in the dark days of the country we live in, we reside in. These prayers are wonderful. They start with actually Mother Kunti, when she glorifies Krishna, she tells us how we should offer our prayers to Krishna. First, we have to know the Lord. She describes how we can know the Lord, and then she goes on to describe how fortunate we are, and she says it clearly. She's even fortunate than the mother and the father of the Lord. Once somebody says to Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, I want to save 1,000 men. And Prabhupada's answer, as we all know, were always witty and to the point. Prabhupada said, first save yourself. And that was like, wow. And then the other devotee says to Prabhupada, I want you to, I'm very fallen. I'm very, very fallen. And Prabhupada says, I need thousands of fallen men like you to assist me in my movement. So there you go. Spiritual master is not going to deny even the ones who think they are not going to be of any help to him in the movement. Similarly, Krishna also, he's not going to deny us our role in assisting him, our role per se, which is why we are here in this Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, the material world. We all have got a role, and just to think that, oh, I can't do anything, I'm not capable in my body, in my mind, or I haven't got any resources. You have got something, you just have to find the service. Even if you think that you can't do anything for Lord, there's always something you can do for Lord, because Lord is unlimited. And just think that his needs are also unlimited. Just look at ourselves, how many variety of needs and wants we have in life. And similarly, you should think of Krishna. Like on a hot summer's day, look at the Archavigrahas in their house and just think, what is missing for you in the Lord? Sometimes you think, oh, maybe Lord needs some fan. Maybe Lord needs some lighter clothing today. Maybe he needs to have some lighter bhoga according to the time and circumstances. So this is how the relationship is developed. And the problem is people just are focusing on the awe and reverence all the time. And when you focus on awe and reverence, you can't welcome even anyone in your house, anyone who just walks in your house. And if you have that sense of, intimacy, you think of them just like yourselves, then you're able to serve them nicely. So similarly, our prayers have to be for the Lord, starting from our grassroots levels, that Krishna, we are hopeless without you, and we understand you, where you are coming from, and why you have created all this around us, and in the first place, why you have created us the way we are. Then everything falls into place. It's not difficult. So yes, we have to develop that mood of Kunti Maharani's prayers, and some of these verses, you'll see they're so beautiful. Namah Pankaja Nabhaya, Namah Pankaja Maline, and Krishnaya Devaki Nandanaya Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. These are so small verses. We can all remember them by heart, and we can, at the time of distress, at the time when we are lost sometimes in this material world, we can refer back to them and do our prayers. These are like the prayers which are set in stone for us. We can just make our prayers on the basis of these prayers. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. And thank you all. We'll catch up again with more prayers on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
Ki
ki
jai,
jai,
Srila
Srila
Prabhupada
Prabhupada
ki
ki jai,
jai.
Gaur
Premanande,
Premanande,
Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Thank
Hare
you all so
Krishna.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Prabhuji, can I share one thing? Okay.
Sure, Prabhu.
Yes, it will not take much time, okay?